everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very happy to have you here, guys. As you can see in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about my fragrance wish list. This is more like a casual, again, pretty laid back type of video, and I will be discussing some of the fragrances I want to add to my collection, some backups, some new bottles, and I want to mention why, what made me want to purchase them. So yeah, if you are in the mood for a fragrance chat, you are in the right place. So, like I always mention for these types of videos, grab a drink, a bite, put me in the background while you do some house chores. I don't know, but let's talk about fragrances. Now, you guys, am I the only one that feels like my fragrance wish list is a never-ending list? I think that all these new releases are not helping either, especially that each brand has so many new releases. I feel like it's the weekend. 5 new releases, another week another 5 new releases, another week another 10 new releases from so many brands, and it can feel a little bit overwhelming. So the fragrances that I just want to test, especially some of the new releases, I have heard amazing things about a fragrance from Swiss Arabian Tobacco 01, and you know my love for tobacco fragrances, so of course I want to test that fragrance as well. But for today's video, I only want to highlight fragrances that I actually want full bottles of them at this moment on in my collection. Maybe I will forget some because I have a wish list on my phone, another one on my laptop, another one in one of my notebooks, another one in another one of my notebooks. I feel like I have fragrance wish lists everywhere, basically. So this is why, at least in my case, it feels like a never-ending list, but I still try to be mindful with the fragrances I purchase, because as my collection is growing and as I am discovering new fragrances, I want to make sure that I actually invest my money in fragrances that I genuinely love and wear, So yes, you guys, let's just start. Of course, I have a list here because I cannot remember them out of my mind, but let's start with the backups that I want to purchase again. Now, I would love to know, what are your thoughts on backups? Do you think they are worth it? Do you think they're a waste of money because you have money stuck in fragrances that you're not actually using, but you will get to use a fragrance, and maybe by the time you finish your full bottle and you get to the backup, you actually don't enjoy the fragrance anymore, or perhaps you're bored with the DNA? I don't know. I'm still on the fence about how I feel in regards to backups. Sometimes I feel like they're a waste of money, but then there's this fear of missing out in a way in me. Not in terms of new releases necessarily, because there I can control myself, but in terms of the fragrances that I love. Like, I'm the type of person, like, if I have a fragrance that I love, I fear discontinuation, I fear reformulation, I fear that if I only have a bottle, am I really able to use it every time I want it, or subconsciously do I try to save it up for more special occasions? Because one thing about me, I want to wear the fragrances that I love as much as I want. Like, if I crave to wear a fragrance like 5 times in a row and I have like 15 ml left, I still want to like, be able to wear that fragrance without being like, oh my god, but what if I use it up? What if I can't find it anymore? Blah blah. So yeah, this is why I purchase backup bottles for some of the fragrances that I love and that are reasonably priced, because I feel like there are some fragrances that I'm absolutely in love with them, but I wouldn't pay at the moment like 200 euros for a backup bottle, because it's not the most realistic thing, at least for me at this moment on in my life. Like, I have other places that require my money, that require my funds, my budget. I cannot really put all my money into fragrances, even though I would like to put all my money into fragrances. Yeah, I don't know. But let me mention some of the backup bottles that I want to purchase and tell you why. So I have here La Belle Le Parfum. Now, I'm sure you've heard, or you have seen at least online, that the new version of La Belle Le Parfum doesn't look like this anymore. The bottle looks different, and actually the colors are reversed. Basically, it starts off here red and then it goes darker, if I remember correctly. And of course, the natural question that arises in these types of situation, is there a reformulation happening? Now, this is the question. Was there a reformulation in terms of this fragrance? There were some women who told me in the comment section that this is reformulated, that it doesn't last as long, and I love this fragrance, you guys. To me, again, keep in mind, when I say the best from the designer section, I'm being very biased, I mean, look, all of these fragrances are fragrances that I love. So keep this aspect in mind. And just because I love a fragrance doesn't mean you will love it as much as I do. So please be mindful, please test fragrances. Just because you resonate with my taste in fragrances doesn't mean that you need to go out and buy the same fragrance. Try to test, try to sample fragrances first, and then invest your hard-earned money in fragrances that genuinely bring you happiness and you wear them and you love them. So back to this fragrance. I don't have a lot of the fragrance left. It's somewhere over here, if you can see. And of course, I am on the hunt now for a backup bottle, but the old style of bottles. Maybe the scent is not really reformulated. In all honesty, I haven't gone to a Sephora near me or a Douglas to be able to smell the new bottles. Maybe I should do this before I blindly purchase a backup of this fragrance, but this is a fragrance that I love, you guys. To me, this is one of the designer releases that's worth purchasing a full bottle, in my opinion. And I feel like the trend when it comes to designer releases, at least for my taste, the trend was like a little bit going downward, you know, with all these very dominant florals, with a little bit of something musky, with a little bit of something woody, vanillic. They didn't really move me in any way, but fragrances like this, they move me in such a way. Oh my god, I love this DNA. And of course, ideally, I would love to have a backup bottle of this fragrance to be able to just use it up completely, don't even, you know, think too much about it, and just use it whenever I feel like it. The way they put the paracord and the way they made the paracord shine, you guys. It's such a beautiful job that the perfumer did, which is Quentin Biche, if I remember correctly. He did an amazing job with this fragrance. He managed to take the accord of pear, that as a standalone accord, or let's just say pear that's supposed to be the spotlight in a fragrance, could come across as a little bit more juvenile, as a little bit more plain and simple, dare I say boring here and there, you know, especially if it's a very musky forward pear with some florals there, like, I don't know. But he managed to really make it feel seductive and alluring and mysterious and bold, because he added, or he created this paracord that, in a sense that to my nose it feels like a baked pear, like a warm baked pear that's a little bit caramelized, and he added a beautiful rich balsamic quality to the fragrance that contributes even more to this robust feeling of the fragrance. This is a lot of things but plain and simple and boring. To me, this is a fragrance that when I wear it, I feel confident, I feel put together, I feel like I'm in my energy in a way. And I feel like I have just clicked with this fragrance, and I've worn it in so many occasions, and I have so many beautiful memories associated with this fragrance. So by now it feels like a fragrance that I'm connected with it on an emotional level, you know. It's not just that it smells good. In a way, I feel like I'm emotionally connected to this fragrance. And yeah, so that was the first fragrance that I would like to purchase a backup of. Now, the next fragrance, I forgot to bring it, but I will just mention it. I don't know if I will be lucky enough to be able to get a backup bottle, because the fragrance is discontinued and it's not able to be purchased anywhere. The fragrance is from Tom Ford, is the Noir for Women. That fragrance, oh my god, that fragrance has put a spell on me, like, ever since I got it. Now see, that is a fragrance that I treasure. And in a way, I mean, it's good that I treasure it, but in a way it annoys me, because I would love to be able to wear it more, but the thought of it running out completely and then never being able to wear it again, I don't know how that sits with me, you know. I don't know how this sits with me, but yeah, I am on the hunt, you guys. So if you're based in Romania and if you see it on any website, please let me know. I've searched on the majority of websites that I purchase fragrances from, and none of the websites have it. And even though I have smelled the Noir Extreme version, which is for men, and they do share a lot of similarities, and I think that's still available for purchase if I'm not mistaken, but there's something about the version for women that's creamier, that's sweeter. I feel like in the version for women, of course, you have the cardamom there that adds the most beautiful, dusty, sweet, spicy quality, but the lactonic accord, that almost like condensed milk accord, shines much more in this one for women than in the one for men. In the one for men, I feel like it's the cardamom that really shines. Yeah, so that's another fragrance. And the third fragrance that I would love to be able to purchase a backup bottle of it. No, actually I have another one after. Guess what? It's again another fragrance that it's discontinued, or it was a limited release. I never thought it would be a limited release, honestly, but it's the one from Kayali, the Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli. Again, you guys, that fragrance, I love to wear Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli, or the inspiration that I have of it, which is December Vanilla from Paris Corner, layered with Noir for Women by Tom Ford. These are some of the fragrances that every time I smell them, they just make me roll back my eyes because of how good they smell in a way. So yeah, even though the one from Paris Corner is an amazing inspiration, but I still detect some differences, and still ideally, if I would ever be able to find that bottle again, like 100 ml version, because I saw the 50 ml version on Sephora, but it's for an outrageous price. It's more expensive than the 100 ml version, and to me it's pointless to purchase the 50 ml. I don't know, in my mind I better wait for a 100 ml, but if I see it again listed on Sephora, best believe I will get myself a backup bottle of that fragrance, because I cannot see myself ever getting tired of that DNA. It's a patchouli forward fragrance with amazing, gorgeous, dark balsamic accent with a suede accord, like leathery suede accord, but it's coated into this sugary goodness, into this rich vanilla pod type of accord. So yes, you have the darker notes that add a lot more depth and a little bit of an earthy facet to the fragrance. They make it more mysterious, but you also have the sweet notes, you guys. The sugary accord, that's amazing. The vanilla accord, that's such a beautiful interpretation of a vanilla pod in a fragrance, that I am again hooked on that DNA. I am hooked on that DNA, and for me it's extremely unique. I mean, I can say that I have tried a lot of fragrances like this besides the inspiration of Paris Corner. I haven't tried any other fragrances like that. So yeah, for me it's extremely unique, and I would be the happiest if I would be able to get a backup bottle. Now, the next fragrance, you guys. Again, a discontinued fragrance. Do you see, these are the type of fragrances that fuel my fear of missing out when I love a fragrance. These are the type of fragrances. I blame these brands. No, I'm just kidding. But the next fragrance is called Sajaya Gold from Jeunet Perfumes. This is a 100 ml. But see, if I turn it like this, I have around this much, which is like half of the fragrance. And then I have another bottle left, and that's about it. Now, this one, I still wear it. I will be very honest, I would love to wear it more, because again, I love to wear this one alone. I am obsessed. I mean, if I would have a signature fragrance in this lifetime, it would be this fragrance. Yeah, like my love for this fragrance and for what the perfumer, he or she created with this fragrance is unbelievable. Like unbelievable for someone like me, and for my taste is unbelievable. And even though I have tried fragrances that have similar facets that I will mention in a second later in the video, but none managed to give me the same feeling and energy that I have with this fragrance. So this is another fragrance that if I would have the chance, I would purchase, like, I swear, like 10 more bottles, 15, 20, I don't know. Oh my god, like I would actually purchase more than 10 bottles of this fragrance if I would have the chance. It would be an investment, of course, but then I could use it in this lifetime for sure, maybe even in the next one, you know. Yeah. Yeah, so those were the fragrances that I want to get backups of. I have other fragrances that I love, and I already have backups of them, like Arabian Stonka, Instant Crush, Teriak by Latafa, Garam by Jeunet Perfumes. Yeah, I think these are the backups that I have. L'Extase Rose Absolue from Nina Ricci, I have a backup of that fragrance. Yeah, Masque Mystérieux, of course. But now let me mention some of the fragrances that I have tested lately and that are very expensive, first of all. And second of all, I don't know, I just clicked with them. I just clicked with them in such a way. Now, let's start with the fragrance from the brand called Brecourt. Yeah, I think it's a French brand, so I think this is how I pronounce it, Brecourt. Yeah, this is called Captive. Now, I received this sample from this brand, as well as another sample of a fragrance called Farah from someone who's watching my video, so thank you so much in case you're watching. And I have fallen in love with this fragrance, you guys. This is a very different style of fragrance, and I'm surprised I even like it. You know what? I'm not gonna spray it on paper, I'm gonna spray it on my skin. I'm even surprised that I like it to the extent that I do, but there's something about the way they managed to highlight a milky, almondy accord with something that to my nose smells like sweet candied violet, in a way that makes it feel sensual, extremely sensual. This fragrance has this hidden sensuality about it, and the playfulness this fragrance radiates Yeah, so let me tell you how this fragrance smells like. So I will do just like a small spray, and until I will be able to purchase the full bottle, I will just treasure this sample that I have. So this fragrance, it's pretty airy yet candied sweet floral in the opening. I smell here something reminiscent of orange blossom and jasmine. It's sweet, it's definitely covered in something sweet, almost has a honeyed like richness, sweetness in the background, but a honeyed floral style of honey, not really like syrupy honey that you eat. And quickly it feels a little bit powdery. And purple. This smells like orange and purple, or like cream and purple. These are the colors that pop in my mind when I smell this fragrance. I don't know why I also smell something like a candied violet facet in the background. That's a little bit more powdery. But then, you guys, as this fragrance develops on my skin, I still get the sweet candied almost, or like sweet honeyed in a way, floral facet, like that beautiful orange blossom facet with the jasmine. But in a way, they are covered in this extremely well done and extremely realistic milky almondy lactonic accord. So it's a lactonic accord, but it doesn't smell just milky. It has a nutty, it has an underlying nutty quality about it, which makes it stand out in such a beautiful way. So the fragrance, like the texture of the fragrance, gets extremely creamy and almost like nutty, not naughty, nutty, like from almond, you know, with the beautiful honeyed florals in the background, with something like a touch of patchouli. I know this has listed incense. Now look, as an incense lover, I don't know if I smell much incense in this fragrance, but I do smell a gentle dry woody accord in the background that darkens a little bit the composition. But the way this fragrance makes me feel when I smell it, it's very different to the usual mysterious, not really sophisticated. I mean, I guess some of the fragrances I use are sophisticated, but like mysterious, dark, heavy statement, more artistic leaning perhaps, or very seductive type of fragrances, but all in all darker fragrances. This doesn't smell dark, even though it does have some dark accents that ground the composition, but the overall aura of this fragrance feels light and almost angelic, but with like not really angelic, you know what I mean, like angelic with a very flirty undertone, angelic with a beautiful sensual undertone about it. And soft, you guys, soft and dainty and feminine. Yeah, I don't know. This fragrance again shines in such a beautiful way to me, and I would love to add it to my collection. And I know for sure I will add it to my collection. I'm not really sure when, but hopefully very soon. But this fragrance, like I've mentioned, is very different to the type of fragrances I usually reach for. You know, I'm not a floral lover in fragrances, and I'm not really like a powdery. I'm not really someone who loves powdery accords either. But the opening is not even the best part of the fragrance. The heart and the dry down is when that beautiful magnetic sensuality about it starts to shine. So yeah, this fragrance really stood out to me. And like I've mentioned, I have also tested Farah from this brand. Now Farah, it is beautiful, don't get me wrong, it is beautiful, but I've smelled a lot of fragrances like that one. I put that fragrance into a scent family with fragrances like Sina Honey from Rogue Perfumes. That's an inspiration to Ojan from Parfum de Marly. I have the oil in my collection. It reminds me a little bit of, again, Halt at Night. It reminds me a little bit of, what were the other fragrances? Hamra a little bit, you know, this style of perfumes. It reminds me a little bit of that style of fragrances. But this fragrance feels extremely cozy and comforting and feminine and radiating and uplifting, but not in a very juvenile way. No, uplifting in a flirty, sensual way. I don't know. To me, the energy of this fragrance is magnetic. And again, it really stood out to me. So yeah, fingers crossed, in the near future, I will add a full bottle in my collection. Now, let me first of all search for the... Here it is. No, I actually got the wrong one. Hold on, because I have two samples of fragrances from Morph, and here is Malaga, but I wanted to highlight Cruda. So let me just go and bring Cruda, and I'll be back. So I have here Cruda with me. Again, I received this one when I exchanged some samples and decants with someone who's watching my video. So again, thank you in case you're watching. But this fragrance, oh my god, you guys, this fragrance, again, until I get the full bottle, I will do just like a small spray on my skin, because I want to really be able to smell it and to treasure. Do you see what I mean? Like, This is why I need the full bottles, because I am treasuring this little sample that I have just as well as the other little sample that I have, and I want to wear these fragrances. This is the closest fragrance I have found that shares some similarities to Sajaya Gold from Junaid Perfumes. They are like extremely distant cousins. I'm not saying that they smell alike, but energy wise it does have something from Sajaya Gold, and also it has that beautiful spicy dusty cinnamon from Sajaya Gold that legit feels extremely dusty, powdery almost. It's like a very pronounced dusty cinnamon facet here, and with a beautiful sweet bitter cherry facet in the background. And this cinnamon along with the cherry accord remind me of Sajaya Gold. And also I do get a rose accord as the fragrance develops, but let's just say the rose accord is not one of the most dominant notes that shine to my nose, whereas in this fragrance you have a pretty dominant rose accord, but it's very sweet and spicy and yeah, seductive leaning, whereas the rose accord here, I'd say it's more of a gentle facet in the background. This fragrance, this again smells like an apple, like not even an apple pie to me, more like baked apples, and you take them out from the oven. Even though in the opening it smells pretty cold, but as the scent develops on your skin it gets extremely warm and rich, and you put a lot of cinnamon on top of the baked apples, and you put like 1 or 2 sour cherries from a cherry compote. This is the scent that I get when I smell this fragrance. So it's sweet, it's apple-like, it's a little bit spicy from the cinnamon, you have that beautiful sweet and tart, I guess, bitter cherry. Even though in the opening for the first few seconds it's quite dark and deep, I get a very pronounced dark woody accord with a very gentle yet present green dark aromatic facet, and only behind these two facets I start to smell the cinnamon, the rose, the cherry. But it's very interesting because let's just say give this fragrance 5 to 6 minutes on the skin and the notes change places in the way, and it's the apple that shines a lot with that beautiful cinnamon. I'm a sucker for cinnamon in fragrances. Like if someone would ask me what is one of my favorite notes in fragrances, is cinnamon. Like everything with cinnamon, every fragrance where the cinnamon truly gets a chance to shine, I'm automatically hooked on that fragrance. I don't know, there's something about the smell of cinnamon that I love, you guys. Especially cinnamon paired with vanilla, cinnamon paired with cherry, cinnamon paired with honey, cinnamon paired with rose, with everything. But if you have cinnamon with something a little bit sweet, sign me up, like genuinely sign me up. But I like to be able to fully experience the cinnamon facet, because in some fragrances you only get a gentle whiff of something spicy and then it quickly fades away. No, I am the type of person, like the more cinnamon the better, like the more the better. I want it all, you know. If I were to put this fragrance in a scent family, I would put it next to fragrances like Sinahani / Eau Jeanne from Parfum de Marly. I would put it next to fragrances like Hamra, next to fragrances like Khaltat Night, perhaps next to Royal Blend Nero as well. Even though I'd say scent-wise is the most similar to Khaltat Night with something from Hamra, but then they took this DNA and they made it much darker, 10 times stronger. This is extremely oily, you guys. I'm not even sure what's the oil concentration listed for this fragrance, and very concentrated. I know it's more of an expensive fragrance, let's say. I think you can find it for around 150 euros, but I do think it's worth it. Of course, I wouldn't recommend it to blind buy it, you guys, but I do think it's worth it. And again, because it shares some similarities to my beloved Sajaya Gold, I feel like I like it even more, honestly, because at the moment, I have a lot of fragrances in the Angel Share / Hamra by Latafa scent family. And even though Angel Share DNA, it's not really 101 to Hamra by Latafa, but of course they share the similarities. You know, that apple with the spicy cinnamon. I have fragrances in my collection: Royal Blend Nero, Caramel Macchiato from Fragrance World as well, Hamra. I have another fragrance that's an inspiration called Decadent from Nayam. So more or less all these share some common similarities among them. Also Amber Rhythm, which could be even more of a distant cousin to this scent family, while it shares, again, like I've mentioned, some similarities. But I have to say, this to me stands out in its own way, because this doesn't lean in the direction of Angel Share. There is this almost like slightly cold, slightly molecular type of reinterpreted apple pie in a way, because to me this is how Angel Share smells like, and Royal Blend and Decadent from Niam. It's like a reinterpreted, modernized, make it molecular and very strong apple pie. With the cinnamon, with everything like this, add the woody accord that's very molecular, this is the fragrance. No, this is much more of an opaque fragrance. This smells extremely realistic, you guys. Yeah, it smells a little bit Christmassy because of this, and I love the cherry undertone this fragrance has. It's such a beautiful facet, and again, cherry paired with cinnamon, paired with an apple accord, paired with rose. Again, rose to me adds essentiality to this fragrance, so you don't smell like a straight up apple pie, you know, because even though that scent is nice, but maybe it's not really the most sensual fragrance or like scent profile. But when you add rose to the composition, you add cinnamon, you add this beautiful cherry-like facet, to me this kind of makes it go into the next, this kind of takes it to the next level. This is what I wanted to say. So yeah, that's that. Then you guys, let me quickly mention two fragrances. Let me highlight the inspiration of Devotion from Lorena that I used it up completely during this summer season. It was one of my grab and go, like the fragrance that I wore the most, you guys. Even on the hottest days when it felt legit suffocating to be outside, that fragrance not only made me be able to not feel suffocated outside while wearing perfume, but still I loved the sugary quality about the fragrance. Legit, that fragrance smelled like lemon dipped in sugar with a vanilla pudding in the background. I cannot recommend it enough, but only for the summertime. I think maybe if you live in places where it's very hot and humid all year round, yes, this could be an all year rounder. But for me, I live somewhere where we have very well-defined seasons, even though it's arguable this, because now with like everything going on in the world, even winter is not like a true winter, spring is not like a true spring, like, you know. But let's just say, theoretically speaking, we have here very well defined 4 seasons. I would say spring and summer, even more summer to begin with, because for my taste in spring, when it's still a little bit chilly, I like to still wear heavier fragrances, like some of my tobacco fragrances. But that fragrance in the summertime, I loved it. I felt clean and put together without smelling clean, because look, I want to feel clean and I want to be clean, but I don't really want to smell clean, you know. I don't want to smell like I just took a shower. I know I took a shower and I'm clean, and I want to smell like perfume in a way. This is my taste in fragrances. This is why I never truly resonated with those like Your Skin But Better fragrances, or like the really pronounced white masks that smell clean like laundry detergent or like baby powder. They are not really my cup of tea, but something like that inspiration for Devotion worked amazing. And even the inspiration of Lira. Let me just show you too, because I don't have a lot of it left. So here is the inspiration of Lira. I wore this one a lot in the summer season as well. Mainly in the summer season. I don't know again if I would wear it now, you guys. It's interesting because see, I associate citrusy fragrances, first of all, the sugar, like the gourmand leaning citrusy fragrances, because those are the only ones that I enjoy to wear them on myself. But I associate them with summer, even though where I live, we don't have citruses, so we only have access to citruses in winter, you know? Yeah, but I still associate them with summer, maybe because they're not as dark and complex. And yeah, this is a beautiful fragrance. Like, I just want to smell it and smell it and smell it, and for the price, it's an amazing inspiration. Yeah, I love this one as well. And again, I do want to repurchase it, but only at summer, or like only when the summer season is coming. Then I will purchase again this one, as well as the inspiration of Devotion. But let me quickly highlight Caramel Cascade. I love that fragrance. Caramel Cascade, and maybe Eclair if I find it for a good price. I reach for them for very different occasions, let's just say. Usually I reach for Eclair when I want something very feminine and sweet, lactonic leaning, with a little bit of honey, but very comforting and relaxing to me. This is the vibe that the fragrance emanates. Cozy, feminine, delicious, but a very wearable type of delicious, and a delicious with a twist because of the tonka bean. But all in all, just a very comforting fragrance, whereas Caramel Cascade to me has a little bit more of an oomph, a little bit more of a loud personality about it. So I would say that is more for like day-to-day going out, running errands, date night, going out in general, or when you want to feel not really comforting and calm, you want something that, let's just say, makes you feel a little bit more energetic and awaken something within you, you know. So those two fragrances again are on my wish list. Caramel Cascade, at the moment it's out of stock on Dubai collection. but I do want to have it in my collection as well. And also a backup, not even a backup because I used it up completely, another bottle of Modjo from Twins Paris. That fragrance, if you are looking for an inspiration to Mula Mula, that doesn't cost a lot but smells amazing, try it, please try it. If you haven't tried it yet, try it. And the last fragrance I want to highlight, there are others, but honestly my battery is running low, so yeah, I kind of have to finish the video. I want to do a review for this fragrance, so I will not spend a lot of time describing how it opens up, how it develops, but this is Queen of Silk from Creed, you guys. I received a sample of this fragrance from someone. To me, like if Red Tobacco, like if there would be a power couple, Red Tobacco would be on a man, Queen of Silk would be on the woman. Even though I love Red Tobacco on my own, but it has something in the opening that reminds me. It's the nutmeg, you guys. It's the nutmeg with a touch of patchouli that reminds me of Red Tobacco. But the way the nutmeg and the patchouli is blended in this fragrance and the type of notes that are paired with this accord result into a fragrance that smells, yeah, there I have perfume, results into a fragrance that smells extremely feminine, sophisticated at the same time. Sophisticated and very powerful. Yeah, oh guys, this smells so beautiful. I smell a juicy pear in the opening with nutmeg, like nutmeg powder, you guys, and perhaps a little bit of a drop of something of a nutmeg essential oil, because it does have a gentle greenness, but it's very soft and muted. It's more spicy than green, I would say. And with patchouli, this is how it opens up, and white florals. You have this combo of all these notes. It feels put together, it feels serious, you guys. This fragrance feels serious, quite assertive in a way, but wearable at the same time. I could imagine this one as someone's signature fragrance, and you know, it is on my wish list, but it's not like a top priority on my wish list because it's more of an expensive fragrance and it's an investment at the end of the day, especially when you want this fragrance and the next fragrance and the third fragrance and then another 10 fragrances. Like, I look at fragrances like investments, you know. I don't need a new fragrance, I just want a new fragrance. So yeah, maybe for when my birthday is coming up, I don't know, we will see, but this feels very elegant and sophisticated and put together, but not in a way that feels too floral dominant. Even though this is a floral forward fragrance, a white floral to be more specific, I smell tuberose and jasmine, but it's blended with a little bit of patchouli that adds this mysterious grounding element, but not a lot of darkness. I wouldn't say this fragrance is extremely dark. It's just very nuanced and layered with a touch of something pear-like in the opening that adds a little bit of uplifting playfulness to the fragrance, with the spicy nutmeg again that adds dimension and this vibrancy to the opening. And the development is very beautiful as well. So yes, you guys, those were some of the fragrances that I want to add them to my collection. And there are others also. And let me not even mention the fragrances that I want to test, not necessarily have full bottles of them, but I want to test them here. Yeah, for me it feels like a never-ending list, honestly. Like a never-ending list. Let me know what are some of your most wanted fragrances in your collection. Let's just say, like, the fragrances that you cannot wait until you add them to your collection. Let me close out the video because my battery is dying any minute by now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what are some of your fragrances that you cannot wait to add them to your collection. Like, how does your fragrance wish list look like at the moment? I will see you in my next video. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram, but I want to wish you an amazing day wherever you are. Bye guys.